Great. Well, hi everyone and welcome. I'm Molly Spector, Senior Director of Client Experience here at Datafy, and I'm alongside with Carrie Hoffman, Senior Director of Strategy and Insights. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to talk about how your destination can benefit from the two massive travel opportunities that are coming up. We've got the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the Route 66 Centennial. So whether you are in a host city, you're on the route, you're nearby, or you have any connection to these two events, we've got some really cool opportunities that we want to share with you. We'll also be walking through real life strategies and how Datafy can help you get in front of the right travelers at the right time. We will leave some time for questions at the end, so feel free to drop them in the chat as we go. And with that, I will hand it over to Carrie.
Thank you, Molly. So we're really excited to talk about these two big events that are happening in the next year and what you can do now to get people thinking about your destination. I know we're only in June, but we are already talking about what's going on in 2026. And with that, the world is literally coming here for FIFA World Cup and also to take a drive on Route 66 during its 100th birthday. And then in the meantime, Americans are really looking to get back behind the wheel, and domestic road trip travel is on the rise. So the opportunity we'll be talking through today is really engaging our new audiences and re-engaging with past ones like never before. So let's kick things off with World Cup. If you're on this webinar, at least 50% of you are already aware of World Cup and what's going on. It's coming to a city near you, if not into your city. It is the largest sporting event on the planet. It's going to dominate headlines and travel decisions for months. There's 48 teams that are playing across 16 host cities. And we'll see millions of people moving throughout the country, well beyond the stadiums and the cities that are highlighted in this map. So there's an estimated 6.5 million ticketed attendees that will, purchase a ticket and attend at least one World Cup match. And that's easily going to be twice that number visiting the local areas and the regions surrounding these World Cup locations. It's just not only just a sports event, it really is an economic engine. Visitors are expected to stay longer and spend more. The economic impact is real. As you see here, it's estimated at over $30 billion in estimated impact from World Cup. In the past, local hotels have seen a surge in demand during World Cups. Regions saw boosts in restaurant, retail, and attractions, and this is not just in the host city, but in those adjacent or kind of like hub and spoke regions. So this is a moment to attract visitors looking for nearby destinations to explore between matches, whether that's booking day trips, overnights, or kind of filling up their free days and their free time. So the beauty of this opportunity is that fans are open to discovery. It could be that some of these visitors that are considering the area, they've never had your destination on their radar. But likely if they are travelers, they're going to be, families, foodies, adventurers, people who are willing to travel. And it's likely that they're already just like the current audience that you market to. We're just giving them a new reason to travel to your area. So you don't need to have a stadium. You don't need to be right in that host city. You really just need to show up in their planning phase so that you can be considered as part of their itinerary. So at Datafy, one of the things that really sets us apart is our in real life audience targeting. It's based on what people are physically doing, where they're physically seen, rather than what they're doing online. So for World Cup targeting, it's really no different. We've taken the guesswork out of who's already showing interest in soccer. We've built audiences that are based on attendance at major soccer events like MLS games, friendlies, Gold Cup matches, and that's That's really the priority. We're not focused on just the people who Googled soccer. So, what does this mean for you? It means you can easily activate our audiences. That means that you're spending smarter and you're targeting actual soccer related travelers with precision. This really is where we at Datafy shine. There's no guesswork. We know where they've been, how they travel, and when to reach them next. All right, so let's talk digital strategies. We've covered who we're targeting with our in real life soccer audiences. We just looked at that. Um, so that's huge, right? Like, who do we want to be targeting when we're talking about people coming for World Cup and trying to attract them to our destination? Next, based on each of your destinations and the goals that you have, we can help you determine what type of regional targeting makes sense. So you're reaching the most relevant audiences with the dollars that you're spending. So if you are working with a smaller budget, we might want that to be, focused a little bit more concentrated on a region. If you have a larger budget, there's more opportunity to reach more people across the country or to reach nationwide. So there's that piece with the regional targeting. And we want to make sure that we're starting with pre-trip planning, reaching those soccer fans during the decision-making process with creative and messaging that makes sense. And that doesn't mean you have to get all soccer focused on your messaging, but you just really want to make your destination stand out. Just like you would with any other campaign that you're running, you want to be highlighting what makes your destination unique and what would make people want to visit you. And then once they're in the region, we can activate real-time geo-targeting to capture the kind of in the moment travel decision. So people are in the area, they're there for the vibe and the hype of World Cup, and they've got some downtime. You have an opportunity to kind of get in front of them if they're not sure what they're doing next. So Molly, what are you are talking with clients every single day. World Cup comes up constantly right now. What are you hearing from clients in World Cup regions?
Yeah, good question. So I oversee the state of Washington, so I'll focus there for now, but this really applies to any destination located in or near a World Cup zone. So for Washington, with games happening in Seattle and Vancouver, and fan zones across the whole state, Washington destinations are really in a prime position to be benefiting from the huge influx of visitors that are traveling for World Cup. So it's a really unique opportunity to attract people who are already planning to be in the area. Some of the destinations are really well positioned as convenient hubs. They're either just outside of the host cities or they're right between them. Other destinations might be a little bit further out, but still close enough to feel the excitement, and far enough to escape some of the chaos. So there's a few different ways to approach this depending on your goals, your budget, and where you are. So all this is scalable. If you are looking to run a full funnel campaign, we'd actually recommend starting in the next few months with awareness messaging. There's also the club games this summer, so World Cup will really start being top of mind. This is the time to get in front of soccer fans with those niche soccer audiences that Carrie just talked about and introduce your destination as a great place to stay during the Seattle or Vancouver games, whether that's because of your proximity with more affordable accommodation options or a quieter scene to go back to, access to fan zone experiences, or because you're close to nature or food or fun things to do on non-game days. And then general ticket sales will start in October. So that's going to be the perfect time to make sure that your destination is really top of mind as fans begin planning their trips. And then from there, the focus will shift to conversion as people start booking their hotels and solidifying those travel plans. And that's going to continue into the new year and into the spring. So here's where we'd really want to focus on pushing your compelling content that's going to inspire travelers to choose your destination as their World Cup home base. And definitely make sure that your website landing pages are ready with booking links, itineraries, and any other information that you'd want to share. We can even place a pixel on your website so we can target and then track the people who are visiting it. A lot of fans are going to be turning this trip into a longer vacation too. So definitely important to highlight why they should base their trip with you or come visit you during their trip if they might be visiting multiple places. And then, like Carrie said, once the games begin, the final phase is all about in-destination messaging. So this is really your chance to reach visitors in real time. You can share any helpful information around things like transportation, events, sustainability tips, and then also work to drive people to your local businesses and experiences beyond the stadium for non-game days or after the games. If you are working with a smaller budget or you're in a fan zone that's maybe a bit further away from the host city, your strategy might look a little bit different. So for fan zones that aren't directly tied to a host city, it might make more sense to focus more on regional drive audiences. So that's going to be looking at people who want to be part of the celebrations, but might not be able to or don't want to go to the games. And even if you aren't planning on seeing huge crowds during the World Cup, it's still a really, really good opportunity to get in front of this new audience and just let them know like who you are, where you are, and what you have to offer, because their eyes are going to be in the region. This is the time that they're looking at things to do and places to stay in Washington. And then with our attribution tracking, we can see if they did end up showing up later too. We also work with a few destinations around the country that are flipping the strategy. So they might not be hosting games themselves or even near host cities, but their top feeder markets are. So they're using this as an opportunity to invite host city residents to take a breather, get out of town, come stay somewhere quieter, relax, and be out of the chaos. So there are a lot of different strategies and approaches for World Cup marketing, and we'd be happy to talk with you about what's best for your individual destination.
Molly, I love the kind of get out of the crowds piece. Like
Yeah.
it really does open up the opportunity to destinations who otherwise think like, you know, they're not near a World Cup location, so it's something that they don't need to be thinking about. But yeah, if you market to those World Cup regions regularly and those are feeder markets, it's a great opportunity to take advantage of that.
Yep, totally.
So, planning is now. People are planning now. People are starting to get these campaigns built out and ready to launch. And as Molly mentioned, they will evolve from now all the way up and through during the World Cup. So we're going to shift gears now to another milestone that um, more reflects our denim. Um, Next year, America is turning 250. And along with that, Route 66 is turning 100 next year. So it's literally a cross-country celebration from Chicago all the way down to Santa Monica. And unlike World Cup, these events are happening along the route throughout the year, giving lots of opportunity for people to take a trip. So, with domestic travel really taking a front seat this summer, it's a great time to get your destination on the map. People are planning for this summer, but they're also already planning for summer 2026 um, and spring 2026. My spring break trip is already planned. So if you're a mom like me, you're already kind of in next year. So that's key from a timing perspective. And we've got people who are already kind of putting the Route 66 trips together. We have others that are daydreaming about, wouldn't it be great if we did this? So we really want to kind of push this, kind of promote now. To convert to more visits and more impact down the road. So it's a great opportunity to kind of increase that visitation from people who actually enjoy road trips, people who like heritage travel, and also capitalize on those who love just a good cross-country trip. My husband loves to talk about the trip that he took as a kid cross country. Like he literally talks about it every single week. So it's like on my list of things to kind of recreate for him. So it doesn't matter if you are like directly on the route or if you're nearby. Really, people are just looking for experiences, right? They're looking for great experiences, can't miss events, that nostalgic kind of Route 66 feeling. Those are the things that are going to stand out when people are trying to plan their Route 66 trip and where they want to stop and stay. It's really not so much about like the gas in the hotel, unless you are one of those really cool retro gas stations, cool hotels, like part of that whole nostalgic feeling. So we want to make sure that you are connecting with that larger audience. And many times that Route 66 audience is people that are planning these trips, like maybe you've never targeted these people in the past. So it is a good opportunity to get in front of them. So, who are these people? It's a wide range of people who are ready to engage in Route 66 content and trip planning. We've built our real life audience from people who have visited Route 66 landmarks, road trip hotspots in the past 3 years, people who have attended Americana type events and festivals around the country, and people who have previously been seen at events like Sturgis and Hot Road. So we've, just like the World Cup event, those audiences, we've already done the work and we've built the Route 66 audiences for you. So for these campaigns, again, it's going to be a mix of custom audiences and geographic targeting, like we talked about with World Cup. We want to pinpoint actual behavior and build campaigns to match. Um, Things that you're really going to want to think about is using your creative and messaging in a way that positions your destination as a must stop, right? Again, we want to stand out as one of those places that you can't miss if you're going to be taking part of your vacation to travel along this route. So highlight those exciting celebrations and when those celebrations are, those cool kind of like nostalgic stops. That's going to be key. You're going to want to inspire travelers and get them excited about your destination or any of your kind of celebratory events. And kind of a fun addition on this one is leveraging audio ads for road trip themed playlists. Another way to kind of target people who like to spend time traveling by car. So, Molly, again, you are working with clients that are already talking about Route 66. What are your clients planning already for next year?
Yeah, I'm going to share an example from Flagstaff, Arizona. So Flagstaff is the largest of the small towns along Route 66, and they're really uniquely positioned because they're close to some of the biggest national attractions like the Grand Canyon, the Petrified Forest. They've also got some other really cool assets like dark skies. They've got a great food scene and just a ton of local charm. So that makes them a really great stop for any Route 66 road trip. But because Route 66 draws a nationwide audience and it's massive, it's, a huge part of the country, it's going to be really important for them to reach potential travelers early in the planning phase to make sure that Flagstaff is just on their radar as somewhere along the route. A lot of the road trippers aren't going to have the time or the budget to do the whole trip, to do the whole route. So they're going to be looking at picking just one section. And so our goal in the campaign is to make sure that Flagstaff is that section. So we are going to take a full funnel approach, and we're going to be starting with awareness this fall. And that's going to really highlight that not only is Flagstaff along the route, but it's also a great hub for exploring the whole area. And then as we move into the consideration phase, we're going to run some native ads, and those are going to showcase all of the exciting centennial celebrations that they've got going on next June. And then once we get around February, we're going to shift into the conversion phase, and that's where we're really going to work towards encouraging people to plan their trips, book their hotels, and make Flagstaff a core part of their Route 66 adventure. And so to support this, Flagstaff already has a digital passport set up, which is 66 things to do in Flagstaff. And so that's a really great tool for building custom itineraries. And they've also already launched a dedicated Route 66 landing page. And so that's just helping them like bring all their assets together, create a really compelling case for why you should visit Flagstaff, and also just give easy access to things like booking links. So we will be targeting the national Route 66 audience that Carrie just walked through. We're also going to be retargeting their website visitors and their email subscribers so that we're making sure that we're also talking to people who are already showing an interest in their brand. And because this is such a different niche than their typical visitor, there's also a lot of potential for not only visitation during Route 66 and those celebrations, but also to encourage the people that do make Flagstaff their Route 66 stop to come back at a later time. And through the attribution tracking, we'll actually be able to see, did those visitors show up, during the celebrations and or later too. And then, as Carrie pointed out, even if your destination isn't directly on the route, if you have that Route 66 spirit and vibe, Americana, or if you're close to the route, this is just a really great opportunity to connect with this different and really niche audience.
Awesome. Yeah, that's they're ahead of the game. Like Flagstaff is just they're right on it. It's awesome. Um, I want to just point out on here, this whole like celebration time equals real time piece. Everyone, because this is happening throughout the whole year, everyone, all these destinations across Route 66, they have events going on at different times, right? So making sure that this timeline right here is a very rough kind of guideline, but you'd want to back everything up based on when your destination is really going to be putting your hard focus and into your celebration time. So next, it's great. We're looking ahead. We're talking about things in 2026 and planning for 2026 travel, but we also don't want to miss what's happening right now. Kids are out of school. People are talking about summer. Road trip travel is thriving right now. People are hopping in their cars again. And so this really does mean, if you're not already putting this into motion, there's some quick wins that are available now today to really try to capitalize on people who are going to be taking short, quick, last minute road trips this summer. So right now, the prime opportunity for a lot of destinations continues to be drive markets. We know that air travelers are often staying longer and spending more, but with flights and all the things going on with air travel, the vast majority of visitors are still arriving by car in a lot of different destinations. And a lot of people are sticking a little bit closer to home. So this really is a good opportunity for regional targeting, targeting people who are taking spontaneous trips, have some flexible travel. Like that's a big key focus going into the summer. 83% of Americans are planning to drive this summer to a summer destination. And 87% of those Americans are planning to stay overnight at least once this summer. So, people are taking those last minute trips. Make sure that you are getting on their summer, weekend planning calendar. Gas prices are down. So people are not worried as much about getting in the car and taking a drive. You can use this time and this opportunity really to re-engage those past visitors. We talk about this a lot when we talk about our audience targeting, making sure that we're talking to those people that have seen our destination in the past, right? They're familiar with us. It's a lot easier to re-engage with them and get them to come back and return. But then it's an opportunity to attract new drive market travelers. These guys have either been to your destination or they've been someplace similar. And we want to try to encourage them to take a drive to your destination. Um, we really want to be leaning into your Datify dashboard. Want to be working, you want to work with us, the ad strategists. We can really look to build out some of the best drive market strategies for your destination and make sure that we're making every dollar work as hard as possible to get as many people that you want in your destination there. So this isn't just about summer though. That's obviously a major opportunity, but this is also a great time to talk about launching mini campaigns leading into back to school, fall foliage timeframes, if that's part of your destination, or just some long weekend getaways, right? Those kind of sneak up on us all, and it's like, oh, we have a long weekend coming up, like we should go someplace. You want to be on the radar for those last minute decisions. And then, if you want to get super specific and you want to target people who road tripped last Labor Day, somewhere within, 50 miles of your destination, we can build that audience as well and target those people who, took a trip last year. Maybe they came to your destination, maybe they came to, the next town over, but we can definitely target them as well. So here comes kind of my shameless self-promotion slide, because right, we always have to have one. So here, like the big thing for us, both working with these campaigns that we've talked about, and then any other campaigns that you're talking about, any of those ad strategies and ways to connect with travelers and get them to consider your destination. With Datify, we don't guess. We use data, we use real world behavior, we build intentional strategies, and we don't stop once we've launched your campaigns. Molly talked about our attribution tracking. That's a huge, huge piece of everything that we do, in addition to being able to activate these custom audiences on the back end, being able to track that attribution and visitation back to your destination, and help you prove the impact of all of your campaign efforts. That is really what makes us shine, working with our destinations, and help to make you shine as well. So let's get your strategy mapped. Kind of the next steps, right? Reach out to your CX rep. If you don't know who your CX rep is, or you don't have one, you can connect directly with me. We'll put you in touch with the right people. And we can walk through the goals, timing, planning of what you're looking to do. And, don't wait. Let's get this started now so that we're on the map going into 2026. All right. I didn't keep track of the time. I think we have like 1 or 2 minutes. How are we looking with Q&A, Molly?
Yeah, not a ton in there. So if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in. We did just get a question about how do we access these pre-built audiences for World Cup. So any campaign that is run through Datify will be able to access these IRL audiences. So that's where you can just feel free to reach out to your CX rep or directly to Carrie, and we can get you started.
Yeah. What if I have
Any other
attraction?
questions? It's quiet
Oh,
out
yeah.
there.
What if I have attraction partners wanting to advertise? Do you have options for them? Yes, we do. I would say this comes from an anonymous attendee, so I don't know who you are. But you can reach out to one of us and we will put you in touch with the right people on our team. Great. I hope this was helpful. We hope to hear from you all. We are at the 30-minute mark. Molly, we timed that perfectly. So again, if you have any questions, you want to get started, reach out to us and we will be sharing the recording out to all attendees as well. And we did get one last question that just came through. Do you create the ads? We can, yes, we do have a team that can create ads for you. So that's something that we can definitely talk through.
Yeah, and then yes, we would place the media programmatically.
All right. Thank you all so much for attending. We hope to hear from you soon.